Learn how to spell and tell time. Hi. Are we ready? I guess so. Let's go.
The following information may make you feel smarter, but will not actually increase your IQ.
I got him!
So don't get cocky.
This is about what's going to happen.
Welcome to DeaconLive. DeaconLive.
Welcome back, guys. On today's show, who are the Longshoremen and what is causing valley fever? And why did an American airline pilot deliver 150 pieces and several warehouse workers died because the boss said, no, you can't leave? All this and much more will be discussed here on DeaconLive as we comb through your social social news feeds and viral videos that you might have missed over the last 7 days or so, all done within 60 minutes. How are you? How are things? Are you doing okay? And I mean that especially. Are you doing okay? We are doing fine. Now, we broadcast just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, a little town called Marshville. And this is week number 3 of me not being on social media. No Facebook, no Instagram. I do the TikTok and stuff, but other than that, I'm off those two meta platforms. And, you know, everyone knows about the hurricane that came through, Hurricane Helene. Helene? Is that right? Helene, right. And, you know, kind of crept up the coast, the west coast of Florida, and then dived right into the Carolinas, Georgia, Carolinas, and then made, you know, some landfall over, or it's already making landfall, but, you know, kind of cut across Tennessee area. And I'm seeing pictures left and right of on TikTok, you know, people are doing, you know, TikTok videos and look, this is what we look before and this is what we look like afterwards and stuff. I have not been on Facebook at all, so I'm not seeing like the local people. And, you know, I've got some family members in Tennessee. I've got some family members up on the Tennessee-North Carolina border, and, you know, they're my dad's side of the family, so I asked my Dad, is everyone all right? And he goes, well, for the most part, I guess they're okay. I'm like, all right, well, good. That's all I need. But, you know, I was born and raised in Orlando, Florida, and we've been through many hurricanes and so on, and I've, you know, accumulated friendships over the last 41 years of me living down in Florida. And out of everyone I knew in Florida, everyone I know in Florida, even Facebook friends in Florida that we met online and stuff, I only had one person reach out to me. One fucking person reach out to me. And it's so like 3 degrees of separation of how I know this guy. This guy, I've known him since we were in daycare together. This kid, this guy. He was the only one that reached out to me last night about 10 o'clock, 10:30. Texted me and said, are you doing okay? Because he knows I'm in the Carolinas. He doesn't know where I'm at, though. And I texted him back in the morning. You know, he's probably pins and needles waiting for me to return his phone call or whatever at night. But I wake up in the morning and grab my phone and looked and I said, Kev Bazinet texted me, babe. She's like, who? I go, no, it's a long story. So I texted him back, we aight. You know, because that's how we roll. We aight. But, yeah, we're fine here in the Carolinas. A little bit of water, a little bit of rain, not a whole lot of washout, nothing like Asheville, nothing like anything that you're seeing over where roads are being taken out or anything like that. The ground is pretty much dry here where we're located. And but my wife, she was coming back from somewhere, and I was sitting in the big TV room. And she's like, I just got off the phone with my friend, my high school friend, Andrew. And I go, oh, yeah, the one with the food truck. She's like, yeah. I said, well, how's he doing? She goes, you know, he went to Asheville. You know, he moved to Asheville. You know, they went to high school in Orlando, Florida, Lake Mary area, Bishop Moore. Woo. And they were high school friends, you know, and when he graduated high school, he went to culinary school. He worked at restaurants. He was, you know, sous chef. He did all this stuff. Big career. He had his life planned out from high school all the way up until this point where the storm came through. Did very well, opened up his own boutique pizza shop. You know, it's not just pepperoni and sausage and he slinging pizzas and stuff. He had gourmet pizzas. He was doing very well. He expanded and had his own food truck business. And the storm, because he was based in Asheville, and you've seen the pictures of Asheville, took it all away. Took it all away from him. He's got nothing. He's got absolutely nothing. And the reason why he reached out to my wife to let him know this, or to let her know this, is because he was asking, hey, since you're in Charlotte and Charlotte's pretty much untouched, can you see if you looking for a hotel for me and my family? Because he's got a daughter, small child, and his wife and stuff. He's like, our 3rd-story townhouse was flooded. That's how bad the water was in the Asheville area where he was located. He lost everything. He's got nothing but, the clothes on his back and whatever they could cram into a briefcase. And so they're at a hotel somewhere. Luckily, he got a hold of his brother, and he found a place in the Charlotte area, in the drier, higher zones of the area. So, and we were almost at the point, my wife was like, our neighbors have a bumper pull RV, that they're not using, plug that into the backyard and let him live back there until he can get his shit together and, figure out what to do, what's next on the list. But he lost everything, lost his business, lost, all of his belongings. And my mom always said, anytime there was a storm coming through Orlando, Florida, a hurricane or something like that, to always grab the pictures, grab the photo albums. Well, we lived in a time where we actually had photo albums, books and books of pictures. And my mom always said, if anything happens, grab the photos, grab the pictures off the wall, because you won't have them. They'll be gone. If a flood or anything, or tornado or anything catastrophic comes through, grab those pictures, grab them, because you have memories. Now, of course, now we have phones and stuff, so that's not necessarily the main focus when you're getting out of Dodge. But so what would you grab? What would you grab now when a storm hits? I can't see, grabbing family photos now. I've got, 50 years of family photos, if that was the case. Piles and piles of albums and stuff. But what would you grab? What would be the most important things that you grab? We'd love to hear from you, and the way you can do that is go over to Prophet Radio, proud sponsor of Deacon Live. That's PROPHET radio.com. At the top of the page says, leave a message for Deacon Live. You can be anonymous if you want. We just need your email address. It's not a grab, believe me. They just want to make sure you're not a robot. Well, we could tell when you leave your voice message, because it comes right into our inbox, and we'll play it on this podcast, if not this podcast, the very next podcast. And we broadcast every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So what would you bring? What would you grab now? Outside of like the family pets, if you could do that. Are you grabbing the chinchilla? Are you grabbing the parakeet? Or are you just open up the door and let that bird fly? Let a bird be a bird. So I'm interested in, this day and age, what do you grab that's important? Documents, of course, insurance papers, pills, if you're on medication and stuff. But what other tangible things would you grab to save that you could not replace? Your 3rd grade softball trophy that you won for participating. You leave that behind, but what would you grab? I'm interested to hear what you have. All right, guys, we got a lot to talk about, lots to get into. And do you know what floor walkers are? They've been called many things, but this is the first time I've heard them called floor walkers. And we have a guy coming on that's going to tell us exactly what a floor walker is and what to look out for. So stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. If this is your first time listening to the show, we appreciate you guys. We appreciate you listening to us and lending your ears to us for a good 60 minutes or so. Some of the stories we do are kind of fun, jovious, and some of them do get kind of depressing and stuff, but we try to make the best of everything that we got, and we try to stay out of politics for the most part. Religion, fuck that. Very religious people here, so even if the name describes something different, yeah, fuck that shit. It's a nickname I got when I was working in the strip clubs and stuff. They used to call me the Deacon of Mercy or something like that. And I don't know, the name just stuck in radio, and you get these stupid names, and that one just stuck with me. So that's where I got the name Deacon from. Not that I am a deacon or anything like that. That's just what they used to call me, and that's what I just stuck with. It's a branding thing. Now, speaking of branding, this gentleman right here is upset because he tried to leave his job, and his boss says, no, if you leave your job, or if anyone leaves the job, you're fired. And he's like, hey, boss, the storm's coming in, and this is out in Tennessee. Because of greed, 6 died at a factory that told employee workers to keep on working through Helene, or they'd be fired. Sorry. Let's see. Several workers are dead after a factory in Tennessee reportedly made them work in spite the threat of Hurricane Helena. Bear with me. I have somewhat dyslexia, so reading is hard for me sometimes. So bear with me, okay? And they wouldn't let them leave until it was too late. According to Robert Jarvis, who talked to Johnson City, Tennessee news outlet, after the storm raged through his community and killed several of his co-workers, Jarvis said his bosses were hesitant to let the employees leave the premises until it was too late and the storm was upon them. He says, we were all working and the power went out, and I got a text right when the power went out from another employee saying that the parking lot was flooded. He also stated that I started walking out towards the break room, and that's where you walk out and get into the parking lot. And then I seen the parking lot was flooded, Jarvis recalled. I was like, well, what do I do now? And they told me to move my car. So I went to go move my car to higher ground, which was still in the water. There was no dry ground in the parking lot. I got out and I said, can we leave? And another woman said, no, not until you speak with Jerry. Jerry is Gerald O'Connor, the Impact Plastics founder, said no. And about 10 minutes later, she came back and said, okay, y'all can leave now. But it was too late. Jarvis continued with his story, saying that we had one way in and one way out. And when they told us we could leave, the one way was blocked off. So we were stuck in a traffic block on the road waiting to see what we were going to do because everyone knew this was the only one way in and one way out. Jarvis said, I lost my car and it started floating down the river. We didn't know what to do. I giggle, but can you imagine that? Oh, there goes my car. See you later, car. And we were in panic mode, he says. Water was coming up, and then we did what we had to do to survive. There was a guy in a 4x4 truck who came to pick us up and saved a bunch of our lives, who we would have been dead too. The Guardian reported on Tuesday that several Impact Plastic workers were among the 130 people killed in Helena due to the devastation floods caused by multiple states. Both Jarvis and Impact Plastics mold changer Jacob Ingram confirmed that the company would not let workers leave to escape the floodwaters ahead of time. They should have evacuated, he said. We got the flood warnings, and then they saw the parking lot was flooded as well. When they were told to move their cars, we shouldn't have evacuated then. We should have evacuated then. Then when we asked when we could evacuate, they said, no, not yet. It was not bad enough. So I don't know, man. You talk about being a hardworking man for whatever. I would say fuck that. If it's a natural, you fire me, because you know what? I can come back and well, first of all, I won't be dead. But second of all, I would come back and file civil charges against you. Not letting me leave. I don't know if that's a positive thing or if that's a real thing. Hold on. If that's a real thing, but I mean, giving your life for your company? No, there's no way. There's no way I would give my life for any company other than like to save my family type deal. I mean, I hate to say what were these people in fear of their lives outside of like work? I mean, what is a normal working day at that place? Would you want to work at a place where they go, keep working? But I don't have any fingers left. Keep working. It's raining and pouring outside. I don't care. Keep working. No, it's no job is worth that. Get out there, save yourself, save your family, and all that stuff. Now, I'm a big Walmart fan, and I saw that they're closing down 11 Walmarts, and we'll get into those stories here in a little bit why that's going to happen. But this gentleman right here is what they call a floor walker. Now, let's see. It starts out by saying she pulled the old classic pivot mood. A Walmart shopper catches a floor walker following him and his son from the parking lot. My boyfriend doesn't believe me when I tell him. The story starts. If you explored the world of Walmart on social media criticism, there's a good chance that you probably heard about floor walkers. It's a term used to describe plainclothes secret shoppers inside popular the retail chain. Other patrons have theorized the brand employee of these folks who walk around the store, or they call them floor walkers. Dressed in civilian clothes, they either push around a cart or hold a basket. They never have anything perishable inside their cart. And then the reason for this is because floor walking takes a long, long time, and the manager doesn't want to waste food. Well, that makes sense. No shit. A popular TikToker goes by Penny at Big Bags Penny. These names, right? On popular application TikTok did a post about floor walkers constantly. His initial videos on the topic appear to have been uploaded in earnest, and then Penny, however, expressed that he believes that he was targeted at Walmart due to his tattoos. He goes on to say that he regularly shops at the same store, oftentimes with his son, which is why they found it strange that a plainclothes shopper would be following him so closely whenever they shop there alone. So here, hold on there, Penny. Now I know I love doing this because I worked for Home Depot for many years, and part of the training that they would have is make sure you make eye contact with every customer that comes in the store. It's like a 5, 10, 15 rule. I think we did it one time. If they're 15 feet away, give them a wave, give them a nod. If they're 10 feet away, ask them how they're doing. If they're within 5 feet from you, you need to step up to them and say, what can I help you with? That was a 5, 10, 15 rule. Just to make sure that, not that we were deterring, but someone who's going to steal is less likely to steal if they know that someone's already acknowledged them. Hey, I know there's a guy in that aisle. I know there's something going on in there. So when you do that 5, 10, 15 rule, it kind of deters away from that. And it did for the most part. And then Home Depot got lazy and I left by then. But I do that when I'm in Walmart. If I know, I keep my eyes peeled. Oh, man, my head's on a swivel. And I'll look and I'll go, nope, that person right there is not doing right. And in my shopping cart, I always go to the cosmetic aisle or like the toiletry aisles, and I'll throw what I need. Nothing. I mean, what I need. It's not like I'm the secret shopper. I need bar soap. I need mouthwash, toothpaste and stuff. And I'll walk around the store. So they probably look at me like, oh, there's a floor walker. There's a floor walker. So let's see what Penny Big Bags has to say about his floor walking experience. Take him off mute, and here we go.
At Walmart until they fired me. Here's the things to look out for.
Oh, and don't forget, for every podcast we do, we have a matching video over on YouTube, and you can see this video in real time as we're talking about it here. Go ahead and give us a like and subscribe over there on YouTube as well. And I'm going to switch to camera 4, and we can see Penny Big Bags, or whatever his name is, talk about this in real time. So here we go. No, I don't want that. I always do that. Let's blow him back up and give him on big screen.
I used to be a floor walker at Walmart until they fired me. Here's the things to look out for.
Dude, what's wrong with your face? Why are you itching your face?
The first thing you want to look out for is that we're always stationed in our cars. I used to be a
So this guy said he used to be a floor walker, so here we
floor
go.
walker at Walmart until they fired me. Here's the things to look out for. The very first thing you want to look out for is that we're always stationed in our cars. And when you pull in, that's when we get the go-ahead to follow you into the store. This gives the illusion that we arrived at the store the same time as you did. Not only that, each floor walker has one prime target at a time. So if I follow you into the store, you're my prime target until you check out. This means I have to stay with you from start to finish.
Now, this guy, if you look at him, he must be in a band or something. Hit from his neck all the way across his shoulder and down past his chest, because that's all we can see. Full skulls tattooed. There's not almost an open bare spot on his body. It's this black and fire and skulls all around his chest and neck and shoulder area. So yeah, he doesn't look like he looks like a fire walker than a floor walker.
Now while we're in there, there's going to be other floor walkers with other targets, because everyone that goes has to be followed by a floor walker. When you check out, we have to check out with you and walk out to our car just like you're walking out to your car. If you're suspected of any kind of theft, we are mandated to film you to watch you put your groceries away. Just in case later on, we have to use this in court.
So it said on the screen here, it says in a slow shift, we have to do about 50 targets. On a busy day, we do about 200 customers in a day doing the whole floor walker thing.
Put your groceries away. Just in case later on, we have to use this in court. Last but not least, you're not just in the store being followed by me. There's floor walkers all over the place, and we all got earbuds in, and we're all working together. You're my prime target, but that doesn't mean that I'm not watching with the other floor walkers and the other targets. We all work together as a big team in there.
Isn't that crazy? What? I mean, let's go back to me now. That we've gotten to that point where you almost have like a personal not a bodyguard, not a personal shopper. You've got a personal person watching you to make sure you're not stealing anything. Everything's, on the up and up. Now, I don't know about all Walmart here. I don't know if they've got floor walkers here. I'll volunteer. Hey, Walmart, I'll go there and I'll follow I love doing that. I love being the espionage guy going, all right, gotcha. I got your number. And I've seen guys walk out of that store. I told you many stories on past podcasts where guys have walked out with 4 or 5 Roombas in the shopping cart and just walk right out the front door, and nobody stops them or anything. I'll stop them. When we come back, something that's stopping right now is the docks. The docks all on the West Coast, I believe. The dock workers, they're going on strike, and it's not for what you think. It's not for more money or anything. It's for a little bit more. It's for a little bit more, I guess, than just money. So I'll dive into those stories when we come back. So stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. We'd love to hear from you, and the way you can be part of the show, you can be podcast famous, is go over to Prophet Radio, PROPHET radio.com, proud sponsors of Deacon Live and all the other fine programming that comes out of this studio. You can check that out over there. But at the top of that page, you'll see a little thing that says, a little screen that says, leave a message, be heard on Deacon Live. And what that does is that lets you be podcast famous. Now, we're a podcast. We broadcast every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, a little town called Marshville. You can speak right into that. Comes right to our inbox, and we'll play it on this podcast if you get it in soon enough. If not, we'll play it on the very next podcast. We have over 10 years of shows. I think I looked at it the other day. It was like 600, 700 episodes or something like that. You can go back through and listen to all those. The early days of Deacon Live podcast. And if you have any questions, just give us a little marker of what show you were listening to and what I meant by, or what whoever was on the show at the time meant by that phrase, and I'll go back and listen to it and respond to it. So do that for me right now. Go over to prophetradio.com. At the top of the page says be heard. You can be podcast famous. Now, World War II, a famous war, the war that ends all wars. I think they mentioned that at one time. And we stayed out of the battle as long as we possibly could. There's theories as far as why we got into the war. And they said it was because we bombed Pearl Harbor. Well, if you don't know what Pearl Harbor was, it was a big military base. We sent all our vessels over there because we were getting ready to head to Japan. So Japan got the jump on us and bombed Pearl Harbor, took out everything. So that's the real story there. And there's a lot more into it, and, I'm sure I'm missing 1 or 2 different details. But during the time that we entered the war, we dropped a whole bunch of bombs. Before dropping 2 atomic bombs on them, we dropped a whole bunch of bombs all over the whole entire country of Japan. Now, for those of you who don't know, when a war is done, there is I forget the actual name of the organization that comes in and basically cleans up all the bombs and picks up all the bullet casings and does all that stuff. Basically, they just come in and clean house. Like if you got new construction, these are new construction cleaners that come in there. Same thing they have after a war. And the term is slipping my mind what they actually call them. And their job is to make sure that they can start rebuilding the infrastructure and rebuilding the country back up. They'll put roads back in. They'll build buildings back up. And it's all part of NATO. They all pitch in and do their share of help, or help of share, or whatever. But unfortunately, they missed this one bomb that was in the middle of a Japanese airport. A bomb which remained buried since the World War II suddenly exploded. Although there was no aircraft nearby, according to Japan's Land and Transport Ministry, the officials had confirmed the blast was caused by a 500-pound U.S. bomb that they assured that the public... Oh, come on, fucking flies! Officials had confirmed that the blast was caused by a 500-pound U.S. bomb, but they assured the public that there is no cause for concern. Investigators, including Japan's self-defense forces and police, are now working to determine what triggered the bomb suddenly detonated after it lay dormant for decades. The video footage captured by Nearby Aviation shows the force of the blast, which pieces of the asphalt spewed into the air like a fountain. Japanese television aired the dramatic images of the crater on the taxiway, which reportedly measured about 7 meters or 23 feet in diameter and about 3 feet deep. Oh, look at that. This, and it's on the airport tarmac there. It's off to the side, so they're okay with that. Let me switch to camera 4 so you can see it. Yeah, see, there's all the transportation ministry. The airfield at Miyazaki. I'm messing that one on. Miyazaki. Let's go with that one. You take 2. Was originally built in 1943 as a flight training facility for the Imperial Japanese Navy and kamikaze pilots that launched suicide missions from there during the final stages of World War II. The surrounding areas have seen a number of unexploded bombs unearthed over the years, a legacy of missions carried out by the U.S. forces. The issue of the unexploded ordnance of World War II remains a pressing concern for Japan, with hundreds of tons of bombs still buried across the country. Oh, shit. So watch where you step. Mommy, I'm home from school. Boom. These hidden relics occasionally come into light during construction projects and other activities, posing a significant risk for public safety. Can you imagine that? I mean, even like, I swear to God, I'm losing my patience. I'm losing my patience with this fucking fly. And it's one of those little sweet flies, the ones that fucking, I need to get one of those little things over here. One of the things for the things for the things. Can you imagine that? I mean, you've got our country. Now, granted, we haven't had any, anything like that ever happen to us. But, I mean, there's still a lot of, like, landmines in certain areas. There's still a lot of unexploded bombs, like in Japan and stuff. What about, like, Afghanistan, when we carpet bombed, Kuwait and all those other areas like that? There's got to be still plenty of unexploded bombs out there. It's like a firework ready to go off at any time. Now, someone who's really not celebrating any fireworks right now is Costco. Costco shoppers in the Washington, D.C. areas aren't too happy right now in light of this certain strike. The CEO, Costco CEO on how the big U.S. port strike could impact the holiday shopping. So in light of certain reports of a port strike, Costco said it has been addressing potential disruptions to its supply chains, particularly the non-food imports, as the holiday season approaches. CEO Ron Vacris told investigators during the company's earnings on a call on September 26th that the company has implemented several strategies to secure holiday goods ahead of the strike, which officially is called on Tuesday, October 1st, which was yesterday. We have done a little bit of everything, Varkas says. We have a contingency plan. We've cleared out the ports. We cleared the ports, and we also pre-shipped. Moreover, Costco has to look at alternative plans that could help move goods in different ports across the country if necessary. Varkas says the company has been closely monitoring the port strike and was aware of this and was aware of the timing. Being this close to the holiday season. So you say, okay, what is this port strike that they're talking about? Well, right now, there are 25,000 dock workers on the eastern and southern border of the United States that are refusing to go to work. They're striking. So here we go. Okay. And for more on the story, let's go to Sunday morning, CBS Sunday Morning, for their breakdown of what's happening over there. Now, don't forget, for every podcast we do, we have a matching video over on YouTube, and you can see this in real time as we're talking about it here on the air. So here we go.
5,000 union dock workers in the eastern and southern U.S. have walked off the job after talks failed to reach a new contract. The strike threatens to disrupt the entire U.S. economy.
There was some progress late yesterday that may have brought the two sides closer to a deal after months of stalled talks, but not close enough to avoid the first strike of East Coast ports in 47 years. It will impact nearly half of the nation's imports and more than 2/3 of containerized exports as dock workers strike at 14 ports spanning from Boston to Houston. For days leading up to the midnight deadline, crews were working virtually around the clock to move billions in cargo off ships and out of ports by truck and rail. Businesses have also been stocking up on additional inventory in anticipation of a strike. The International Longshoremen's Association, the union representing dock workers, is seeking higher pay and protections against automation replacing workers. According to one estimate, the strike could cost the economy up to $5 billion a day.
Jesus.
And economists worry a long strike will disrupt the supply chain for everything from perishable foods to car parts and construction materials. The group representing shippers and ports says its current offer would mean a nearly 50% pay hike as well as improved health and retirement. The Longshoremen's Union says that offer is still far short of what its members are seeking.
Yeah.
25.
Okay, thank you. And one of the things that they're seeking is they don't want their jobs to be replaced. They don't want to have automation to take over these union guys. Now, I don't know if you know this. Now, believe it or not, we don't get into politics too much, but Trump is a big supporter of unions. And to a certain point, I would have to agree, because sometimes, you need a big company. The big company, everyone looks at the big company like he's this big, greedy, fat pig sitting up on top of the hill, and you've got all these little workers that are doing all the work for him. So if you've got, a collective group of people that say, we won't work, so you can't get fatter anymore, I believe that there is somewhat of certain power in unions. Now, based on what you've seen in, like, movies and stuff like that, the crime bosses are like going, and, yeah, you're going to work for Johnny Two Toes over there, and you're going to show up every day. You're going to punch his card, and you're going to go to work. You're going to get a salary of $1,000 a day. But you don't have to work. Don't worry. We'll take care of that. We're the mob. We'll take care of that. But you need to show up for this job and punch your clock, and then you can go out and pick your nose or whatever you want to do all day. You come work for the family. You come work for me. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole stigma that you get with union workers. It's not like that anymore. Not since, what's his name got killed? What's the Teamster guy? They made a movie on him. But yeah, I mean, and Trump, for the most part, believes in a good, strong foundation for the workers, the middle class. Those guys, giving them what they deserve, and Trump's for that as well. I don't know what Kamala Harris is on. You can't get a full sentence out of her with any plans that she's got going on. So I'm just that's my political rant right there. But I will tell you that this gentleman right here, I'm going to go back to camera 4 because we have more about this strike, and it's this guy right here. His name is Harold Daggett, and he is the president of the International Longshoremen's Association, basically the union. And let's see what he has to say about this whole strike coming on right here.
Those greedy companies are making billions of dollars, and they don't want to share. That's why we're out here now fighting for a contract. We're going to fight for it, and we're going to win it, or this portal will never open up again. From here to Houston, I'm not playing games here.
They understand what you guys do, and they don't want the economy to shut down, but they don't fully understand the job of the men and women who work here.
That's the problem. Nobody knew what the longshoremen were. We didn't get respected, but now we will. Now we will when they find out malls are going to shut down because goods can't come in. Car salesmen are going to get laid off. Well, guess what? Everything that comes in this country comes from the containers off these ships, and my men work.
Yeah.
I want the world to know it.
They learned during
Don't come after us saying we're...
Some guy in the back room, and I was down with Kevin. Listen in the background. Here's some Jim Knucklehead in the background. Here you go.
And my men work, and I want the world to know it.
They learned during
Don't come after us saying we're greedy.
They learned during COVID.
Go after those greedy that own these companies in Europe. Go after them. They're sitting over there taking $4 billion bonuses for themselves.
Like Timu.
Christmas time. That's got to stop.
Now, he said, he's talking about, let's go back to me now. Now, he's talking about, he's not complaining about the people over here in the United States. He is complaining about the people here in the United States about them getting paid and stuff. But the dock workers are complaining about the people overseas that are making all this money and shipping their goods over to us because we've got this not free, but, they get taxed to a certain point, and they're just letting them come in. Hey, send all your goods to us. Everything's all outsourced. We don't do it here. Costco himself, let's not buy from Christmas trees from, a Temu dealership in, Tokyo, Akasaka, or whatever, one of those places out there. Let's buy someone who makes plastic Christmas trees here. Yes, they will cost a little bit more, but you know what? The money will go back into the community. you know, instead of paying for a $20 Christmas tree from overseas, pay a $40 Christmas tree. I'm talking cost, not physical, you know, us buying it, the retailer. Buy a $40 Christmas tree here, mark it up to what you have to do, and then you're spending that money here in the United States, the money staying here in the United States. But just to throw this at you, that guy there, Harold Daggett, he's got a big, thick, I forget what kind of gold chain necklace that is. It's like a rope more than a chain. He's got an annual salary of $900,000 a year plus bonuses. So, yeah, kettle black, you know, that type deal. I don't know what a guy should be paid in his position as president of the whole, you know, international Longshoremen. I don't know what that person should make. $900,000. I don't know. I don't know if that's a good amount for a salary for that. You tell me, and I'd love to hear from you about the whole situation and what you're going to do if the supply lines, you can't get your 30-cent electric lights or something, you know, Malibu lights for your yard from Temu, because they won't bring them in the sea containers anymore. So, and the way you do that, let us know. Go over to profitradio.com. At the top of the page says Be Heard. When we come back, do you know what a mulch volcano is? Well, I don't either. So we're diving into that story, and we'll all figure it out together. So stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. We'd love to give you something for free just for listening to the show. And what you have to do to get it is go over to profitradio.com. At the top of the page says free swag. Pick out what you want over there. There's some magnets, some stickers, some keychains, and whatnot. Pick something out over there. We'll send it out to you. It's not an email grab. It's just Prophet Radio's way of saying thank you for listening to all the fine programming that comes out of this studio. Get something. We'll send it out to you here in the United States, continental United States. For those overseas, it might take a little bit longer, you know, the ports being closed and stuff, so we don't know if anything's going to get out of the country or into the country or anything like that. So it might take a little bit, but we appreciate you, just to let you know on a side note, and we'll give you something and send it out to your house. Now, I was a landscaper back in the day, and I say landscaper, landscape design, and during the housing boom, between 2004 to 2009, people were buying a house and within 6 months flipping it for, you know, $300,000 profit. That's the way the housing market was booming here in the United States, especially in Florida. Now, you guys know I was born and raised in Orlando, Florida. And so I decided to get in the business of, you know, designing people's landscapes, because people would buy a house, throw a little bit of money, you know, to paint, a little bit of money to do this, a little update the landscaping, and then they'd turn around and sell the house. So they could afford to spend, you know, $15,000, $16,000, $18,000, $20,000, you know, $25,000 on the landscape design, which was great. So I got in that business. I did go to school for a little bit at UCF for agricultural and landscape design. Did that for a while, and then when the market popped, no one was paying, you know, $15,000, $18,000, $20,000, $25,000 for landscape. They just wanted their lawn mowed. They could care less. They had to cut corners, and, you know, you always cut back on, you know, when you're looking at your budget, usually the pool guy and the landscape guy are the first two to go. So when that started going down, I said, you know what, I'll just sell the business and get out of this. So I sold the business, made a great profit doing that, and that's my story as far as being a landscaper. Now you can put that and check that off on your bingo card. But this I've never heard of, and it's called, what's it called? Mulch Volcano. Buying a home can come with all sorts of unforeseen problems. For example, one new homeowner discovered something they've never heard before, me neither. It's called the dreaded volcano mulch, or Mulch Volcano, sorry. And turned into the Reddit columnist r/arborist subreddit for advice. They say I didn't even know what a mulch volcano was when I bought this house. The poster wrote, with heavily mulched around the trees, we're already a lost cause. Scared to remove the dirt, any more dirt, seems very, very complicated. I don't want to cause any more damage. I don't think anything fully encircles the trunk, but we have no idea how long it's been there. A lot. Jesus Christ. How long it has to live underneath the mulch fabric for possibly, it's been there for possibly years. We moved in a few weeks ago. I love these trees. As a new homeowner knows, the The term Mulch Volcano refers to a popular but ill-advised landscaping trend of tightly packing mulch around the base of a tree. While it is in theory supposed to help protect the base of the trunk, in practice it does the absolute opposite. One thing, mulch volcanoes cause a girdling or a tree asphyxiation, where the roots grow into the mulch and wrap themselves around the trunk instead of going... asphyxiation, or tree asphyxiation, where the roots grow up into the mulch and wrap themselves around the trunk instead of going down to the ground like they're supposed to. Oh, thank you very much. The excess mulch also traps in moisture, causing rot that leaves the tree vulnerable to fungus and diseases. Now, I know when you have fruit trees and stuff, you don't want anything underneath it. You don't want to put mulch. You don't want to put anything on it because you don't want anything to rob the nutrients of that tree. As other members on the r/arborist Reddit were quickly to point out, some of these problems have already taken root with the original poster's trees. Look at the root zone. There isn't likely anything you can do about what's already gurgling. Anything you can do with the already gurgling roots. Gurgling. The girdling roots. Realistically, you can only properly mulch it. And provide an adequate water for it. It will likely begin to die back, and these roots, who will know when that will be. It'll quickly begin to die back from these roots, but who will know when that will be? Right now, the canopy looks healthy, so just enjoy it, one commenter said. Whether or not this homeowner will be able to save the inherent trees, they have certainly already learned a lot about the correct mulching methods, which should aid in them in future efforts. So, I know that, mulching around trees, but what I also do is I put like oak trees. I'll put, when I was doing my designs, I would do azaleas or something that wanted like acidics or rhododendrons or something like that, because the leaves of the tree turn the soil real acidic, and it's hard to grow grass underneath big leaves or big oak trees when they drop their leaves, or you're going to have to put a whole bunch of lime in the soil to balance out the pH. See, I know something. And you think I'm just here for good looks and poor content reading at the same time. But yeah, I mean, mulching trees, if the roots are shallow enough, I can see that. You don't want to put mulch in there, but if they're deep tapped roots, you should be okay. I'm going to say you should be fine. Do it. Just fucking do it. You're going to do it anyways. But so there you go. Now, this woman right here said, fucking, I'm going to do it anyways. In Central California, there's a new thing coming around that's called Valley Fever, and few visitors get it even with the warnings that are out there. When Nora Byrne bought admission to the Lightning in a Bottle Arts and Festival contest on the shores of Kern Valley, Buena Vista Lake earlier this spring, her ticket never mentioned that she might end up with a growing fungus in her lungs. Great. Stupid. After weeks of night sweats, heaviness and heat in her left lung, cough that wouldn't quit, and a painful rash on her legs, her physician brother said that she might have valley fever, a potential deadly disease caused by dust-loving fungus that lives in the soil in the San Joaquin Valley. Brown said that she hadn't been warned before that Kern County and the Buena Vista Lake and the Buena Vista, God damn it, and the Buena Vista Lake are Brown said that she hadn't been warned beforehand that Kern County and Buena Vista Lake are an endemic for coccidioids fungus. I'm sorry. This is driving me crazy. How do I pronounce this? These right here. What are they called?
Coccidioides.
Say that again there. Let's get it slow there.
Coccidioides.
So there you go. Those, a fungus that causes the disease. So if there had been any warning that there's a potential lethal fungal entity in the soil, there's no way I would have gone, she says. Says the San Francisco-based artist. Honestly, I would have just been paranoid to breathe the whole entire time I was there. The incident and range of the valley fever has grown dramatically over the last 2 decades, and some experts warn that the fungus is growing increasingly resistance to drugs. Pneumonia, they said, is due to the spraying of artifungal agents in the crop areas. The phenomenon, they said, is due to the spraying of artificial agents in the crop areas. The annual cases continue to rise. Local officials have sought to increase awareness of the disease and its symptoms, which are often misdiagnosed. The message, however, focuses on the Kern County and other Central Valley locations, and the rarity reaches those who live outside the Kern County and other risk areas as well. In the case of the Lightning in the Bottle Festival, Brune said she wasn't provided any information about the risk on her ticket or materials provided her even by the event organizers. As far as she can recall, there were no signs anywhere warning that where she ate, slept, danced, inhaled the dust for 6 straight days. She went on. She wasn't the only one infected. According to the state officials, 19 others were also diagnosed with what did I call it again? What's the name of it?
Coccidioides.
What she said. In the weeks and months following the event, 5 were hospitalized, 17 died. No, I was kidding. I threw that last part in there just to wake you up. According to the statement provided by the California Department of Public Health, officials have been in communication with organizers and encouraged them to notify attendees about valley fever, and provided attendees a recommendation to follow up healthcare with providers of if you develop this sickness. Can you imagine that? You're going to a festival and somewhere they're spraying some kind of anti-fungal chemical agent or like that. And it's probably the weed farms that are around there. I'm saying, they won't say it, but I'll say it. There's probably weed farms around there, and they're probably spraying them and stuff, because you can grow those in California, right? Can't you? I don't know. They're spraying something out there. So something's got to grow where they're spraying this anti-fungal stuff out there. It's got to be the marijuana crops. There's nothing else growing out there. And in the valley, because of the air drifts and all that stuff, and the spinning of the globe, and all the forms and the things have been filled out, and they said, okay, you have valley fever. And that's where all the what did I say? God damn it. Words are hard sometimes. The
Coccidioides
was forming, getting a whole party going, and they said, let's attack this festival. Or anything out there. I'm just being silly about that. But so in California, they got to worry about breathing the air out there. It's a shithole over there. Can the thing take over? Can the earthquake go ahead and shake those people around a little bit more, scare them out of California so they're not being so dumb over there? God, it's a mess. I would hate to live in California. I'm sorry. My wife watches those selling Beverly Hills and the whole entire Los Angeles area. That place it's a shithole. I would never go anywhere near that, because I'm better than them. All right, when we come back, one more little segment, and we'll let you get back to doing what you got to do. This pilot bought the whole entire plane pizza. And why'd he do that? Well, it's not his fault, but he's trying to make up for it. So stick around. I'll dive in that story when we come back. So stick around. You listen to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Make sure you follow us on all your social networks. Oh, wait. I'm not on those anymore because I got hacked and then my account got disabled. Well, I'm still over on TikTok. We're still over on YouTube. So make sure you follow us over there. That's TikTok over at Be Podcast Famous, and over on YouTube you can find us at the Deacon Live Podcast. Make sure you give us a little like and subscribe over there. A little thumbs up if you like, and leave us a comment if you want. But if you want to be live here on the episode with us, we're wrapping this one up right now here shortly. So you can be on the next one. The way you get your voice heard on the air is go over to Prophet Radio, proud sponsors of Deacon Live and all the other fine programming that comes out of this studio. That's PROPHET radio.com. At the top of the page says Be Heard. Leave a message for Deacon Live. Speak right into your device. We do need your email address so we know that you're not a robot. I am not a robot. And then it's not an email grab. We won't bother you after that. Speak right into it. You can be anonymous if you want. If you want to put your name in there, it's got a little option for your name. You can be anonymous if you want. It comes right to our email or right to our inbox, and we'll play it on the very next podcast. And you'll be right here in the studio alongside of me. Now, my neighbor next door is an airline pilot. He works for United Airlines, American Airlines, United, American Airlines. He works for an airline company. He flies, he drives the plane around, and then he lands it. But these passengers on United Airlines passengers were completely shocked by the kind gesture from the pilot after being forced to take an emergency landing that delayed their flight for over 7 hours. Their flight was headed to Houston from San Francisco International Airport, took an unexpected turn less than 2 hours into the journey. Can you imagine that? 2 hours in? Oh, man, this is the best part. And then all of a sudden, oh, fuck, we got to go back, leaving 150 passengers stuck in New Mexico Airport with no open food outlets. Soon after the takeoff on September 13th, the Boeing 737 MAX 9 made an emergency stop in Albuquerque after a male passenger suffered a medical event. So it wasn't the plane's fault. It was this stupid moron that was on the plane. Passenger Tanya Stamos, 44 years old, United States Navy veteran from Texas, told Fox News that a man had passed out and collapsed in the bathroom, prompting the pilot to ask if there was anyone with medical professionals on board that could help before announcing the plane would have to turn around and that they would be landing to seek help. Please, is there anyone on board that knows how to do a medical professional type stuff? Nope, just a bunch of dumbasses. Where are they coming from? Where were they heading from? From San Francisco? And now they're a bunch of fucking hippies on that thing. So the flight landed around 3:10 p.m. local time, where the passengers were taken off the plane for further medical assistance. The gentleman was. A short while later, all the passengers were asked to disembark from the aircraft while they waited for a new flight crew. I guess they ran out of time. That one time that the thing happened with my wife. Jesus Christ. And causing the long-term delayed journey while they got a new flight crew. The passengers were given a $15 food voucher for the area. Ms. Stamos explained that the airport restaurants and all the other stores were all shut down by the time they landed. 3:30 in the afternoon? Come on. You can't open up a door for them? At one point, the pilot, who had already navigated an emergency landing, took matters into his own hands and ordered dozens and dozens of boxes of pizza. The captain said it was a really disheartening situation, and we all may be tired, but we'll try to get through this and make sure that each one of them personally got their bellies full, Ms. Stamos said. Ms. Stamos also posted a video on TikTok showing the pilot receiving the pizza boxes, organizing them, laying them out for all the passengers to come and take a slice. Our pilot is absolutely amazing, Stamos wrote in her post. She felt bad for the situation that he felt so bad for the situation that he ordered 30 pizzas from a local shop, and they had it delivered right to the gate. Imagine getting through customs or getting through security, TSA on that. She also added that the pilot also made sure that 150 passengers ate before he even made himself a plate. The passenger said, after about 7 hours in New Mexico, we were able to leave at 11 p.m. once a new flight crew had arrived and landed in Houston about 2 a.m. the following morning. Stamos said that she and her fellow passengers were completely shocked by the pilot's act of kindness. So more organizations do not go above and beyond, she wrote, but this captain did not hesitate, she added as well. His display that evening is what we should have more of. Selfless acts, love, compassion, and humanity. So 30 pizzas. How much? 30 pizzas times 15. Let's see, $15. Do some math here. 30. Oops, clear that out. 30 times 15. He spent almost $500. Let's say $500. Even at $15 a pizza, he spent almost $500 to make sure that these people, when they got off the plane, had enough pizza. Now, was there any pizza left over? Let's see. Here we go with math again. So you have 30 pizzas at 8 slices each. That's 240 slices. Now, if if everyone had a slice, so minus 150, that only leaves, if they only had one slice, because there was 150 passengers, there's only one, if everyone had one slice, there's still 90 pieces left. That's not enough to go around again. I'm sorry, that's not enough to go around in. I would be pissed. I get one slice of pizza? There's 150 people on here. Now, granted, I know some of them are probably kids. Some of them could only eat one slice. Me, easily 4 slices. Every time a pizza sits down in front of me, I go, I'm going to eat the whole thing. I only eat like 4 slices, and I feel like a big fat fuck after that. But, you know, it's the he's not sitting there making a he's not sitting there making a career out of this. He just wants to make sure everyone has something to eat, and that was a good thought. Could have thrown in a couple more, you know, at least 2 slices each, right? No? And what if I don't want cheese? What if I'm lactose intolerant? Sir, Mr. Pilot, there's always one. I can't eat any. I'm glucose. I need non-GMO glucose. Shut the fuck. You sit down. You don't eat. You sit down over there. You don't get nothing because you got weird standards that are made up. Now, we can all relax because on TikTok, you know, if you haven't seen it and you haven't heard it and you haven't been part of it, there's always something new on TikTok where you just go, oh, really? I did not know that existed. And this right here is what I'm going to call your moment of Zen. What this is a group on TikTok called World Bluegrass Day, or this is at World Bluegrass Day. And this is a trio? Quartet. It's a quartet. Stand-up bass, banjo player, violin, and a regular guitar. 4 people doing bluegrass. And we'll switch the camera 4 so you can see this. Everyone who's listening is not going to know exactly what's going on because these 4 people do not look like they should be playing bluegrass. So I'm going to let you listen to them first. People watching the video here over on YouTube at DeaconLive. Oh, hold on. I know, not yet. So for all for everyone over there watching us on, fuck me, these fucking things. For everyone watching this over on YouTube, you'll see this right away. But people listening to this on the podcast, they're not going to know. These people do not look like they belong playing bluegrass. I'm going to play it first, and then I'll tell you what they look like and who they are. So here we go. Not bad. Yeah. This is 4 Korean people. Every single one of them are Korean. And they're playing bluegrass. I didn't know that was a thing, but here you are. Your moment of Zen over. And you can see this over on TikTok at the World Bluegrass Day on TikTok. And it's this 4 people, you know, the female girls on the banjo, boyfriend, probably brothers and stuff, all playing bluegrass, and they're all Korean. Yeah! Harmonize! He's got glasses on. I mean, it's the Mo haircut. Not bad. So there you go. What a treat. What a treat that was. I came across it and I was like going, all right, here's the bluegrass. And then all of a sudden it's all these 4 Korean people. And I'm like going, oh, well, this is a thing now, I guess. This is kind of cool. So you can check those out everywhere. And hopefully we put a smile on your face during the show. We appreciate each and every one of you listening to us, being a part of the show. And you can still be a part of the show. Go to profitradio.com. At the top of the page says, be heard. Leave a message for Deacon Live. You can be on the very next podcast as well. Speak right into your device. Record your voice. Comes right here and we'll play it on your voice on the very next podcast. All right, guys, I'm going to let you get back to doing what you got to do. My name is the Deacon saying good nights and good night.
Wait, come back.
This is the end. The absolute end.
Écoute-moi.
There's a platform when I read and then it gets all fucked up, and then I can read again. I don't know what it is. I don't know. My eyes won't do certain things. I'm sure this doesn't help. I have to get to a certain level to where I can read. But, you know, the first couple sips, I'm like, I can't fucking read. I got too many voices in my head. My brain says I want to take the story a different way, and that's where it goes. All right, guys, thanks. Take care. Good night.